Hello everybody, and welcome to a new series I'm going to be starting on this channel called How to Spark. Basically, I'm going to be building a little game or a style each episode, and we're going to be looking at how to build it. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to build this little ball game where you play as a ball and you roll it up into a cup situated at the top of the screen while the game gives you the timer on how long you've been playing. Okay, so here we are in an empty world, and we have ourselves a little platform. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a little path for the ball to roll on. So I'm just using the add tool here, and I have mine set to cylinder. And I'm just going to build a little ramp. And I think that's good. So now what we want to do is we want to make that nice and smooth. So I'm going to change it over to a ball, and I'm using the smooth tool to smoothen this out and make a little ramp area. So that way the ball can actually roll up the ledges here. And we're probably going to have to add a little bit more mass on the side. Oops. As well as like over here. And then we're going to go back to that smoothing tool, and we're going to change it to a square. This should help a bit. And we should be able to flatten this whole area out. If I increase the intensity a bit, this will go a little faster. And we have to make sure to get those seams just to flatten out this little ramp area here. And you can play around with it in your own worlds. But it looks like that should be okay. Let's double check the top up here. Just flatten this out a bit more. And make that not look so bulbousy. Okay. Now, just for the heck of it, we're going to paint this to make it look nice. So I'm going to pick a different paint skin here. I'm going to go with Woodland Forest's Path for our materials, and then I'm just going to paint all this. Right like this. I'm going to bring back that smoothing tool and use it right over here. And we're going to make sure that all works out nicely. Okay, now we get into the cool stuff. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get ourselves a ball. We're going to enter ball into the search and get ourselves a leather ball. And we're going to put that leather ball right here. And if we go to scale, let's bring it up to 1000%, should be good. 1002. And we're just going to move it right to there. Alright, now we're going to go and we're going to get ourselves a platform piece. Now this isn't available to, this specific piece isn't available to everybody. It's available in the Void DLC pack, I believe it is. And we're just gonna make sure that fits all in there nicely. Okay, and then we're gonna grab one more piece, which is the base junction insert. And very carefully. Now this one's going to require a little bit more finesse to get in there. We're going to place this. I'm going to drag it over. and down in. It's right about there. Now I'm going to go back to our sculpt tool. Let's make this a little smaller. And I'm going to go to add. And I'm just going to add a few walls here around the outside. And very strangely, we'll get rid of that. Because that part looks weird. And this moved, and it shouldn't have. So let's fix that. I don't know why this moved. That was really weird. Put this back into position, and then we'll move the bottom piece as well. And good enough. Okay. So now we're gonna get in. So now that we have the basis of our little game here, we now need to put the brains in. So we're gonna select the ball, and before we put the brain in, we're gonna rotate it. Now, with a ball, all the sides are the same. But with other objects in this game, they will actually have a front. But this arrow here represents the front, and that's the direction that the camera is going to be facing when we start it. So we want the ball pointed this way. So now we're going to open up the ball's brain, and I'm going to name this ball brain. You don't have to name it, that's just what I'm doing. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is program it to be able to move. So we're going to go to When, Controls, Keyboard, WSAD, or you can alternatively choose like a stick on the controller. Then I'm going to say Do, Movement, Move. Now I'm going to add a modifier at speed of 2. So I'm going to go at speed, value, number, numbers, 2. That just allows it to move at a better speed. Then I'm going to go to the Do section, and I'm going to press over and go to camera, follow camera. So basically what we just did is we allowed the ball to move, and we showed that the camera's going to be following the ball instead of just kind of be floating in the middle of nowhere or stationary. So that's basically it for our player, but now we need to work in some of the elements of the actual game itself. So we're going to click this bottom platform here, and we're going to open up its brain. So we want the game to end when the player touches this platform. So I'm going to call this End Game. So we're going to start with When, Sensors, Bump. And then we're going to go with Objects Player. So basically what that means is when the player touches this. And what we're going to do is have it display a message. And I'm not quite sure where display is, so I'm going to type it in. Display, modifiers. Oops. Nope. Then we want text. New text. Game over. Now we want modifiers. Positioning. Screen location. Screen center. So when we touch this, it'll say game over in the center of the screen. Next, we're going to move this piece over, and what that means is this line will only run when the first line has run. And then what we're going to do is add a fade. So what that's going to do is it's going to fade to black. We're also going to move this line over. This line will run not after line 2, but it will also run at the same time as line 2 after line 1. When, countdown timer, numbers. Now I'm going to say 2, but it can be any number you want. Then we're going to add game over. So what this means is when the player touches it, it's going to display game over, fade to black, and after 2 seconds, it'll end the game. So that is the basic premise. The game is complete. But there is one more thing I want to add, and we might have to edit the slope here at the end, but that's all part of testing. And the one more thing I want to add is I want to add a game timer. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a logic cube. And basically what logic cubes do is they're just ways to add rules into the game, but they won't actually appear. So we're going to open up the logic cube's name and call this timer. And here's what we're going to do. So we're going to start by saying display. Now we need to add a new number variable. And we're going to call this game time. And we need to display this on modifiers, positioning, screen location, top right. So this variable will be displayed right up here in the corner. Now, we're going to go once. So one time, we're going to make values, number value, game time equals values, numbers, 0. So first it's going to display game time, and it's going to tell us once in the beginning of the game that the game time is equal to 0. Next we're going to add a countdown timer, and we're going to set it to 1 second, and we're going to run it on a loop. So it'll constantly count down to 1 second. Now, every time it equals 1 second, our game time is going to increase by 1. Increment by, values, numbers, 1. So basically, what's going to happen, one more time, it's going to set the game, it's going to, this first line, line 1, is just telling us where to display the game time. Line 2 is saying that at the beginning of the game time is going to equal 0. And the third line is saying that every second, it's going to increment the game time by 1. Now, if we test it, you can see we play our ball in the top upper right. You can see the countdown timer is increasing as we climb the little hill here. And if we make it into our hole, game over, and game ends after 2 seconds. So that is how to complete this and build this little game. You can use these stylings to do basically whatever you want, and you can use these in any way you want. It doesn't have to be a ball. This could be a player. This could be a vehicle. This could be anything you want. But in our case, it's a ball going into a little cup at the end of the game. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. And if you did, there should be, hopefully I will include a link to the world download if I can find it. If not, you can look under my name. This is called Ball Game, I believe. Let's make sure I named it correctly. Ball Game. Yes, this is going to be called Ball Game. And we're going to save it right now. And I will upload it as soon as this video is finished. And that way you'll be able to kind of see how to use this for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next episode. See you later, guys.